This one's my favorite.
Yeah.
Where it says this one. Come on, what is this shit?
Yeah. All right.
This has been a while since we talked about this.
You know, and you doubted how much people would enjoy videos about steaks.
I did.
But
after having using bad steaks, though, now I understand. I understand why people like this.
Yeah, you doubted this. So we've been on this random journey over a long period of time about like what type of steaks do we prefer to use,
and what's the best steak?
And what's the best steak? And
because there are definitely some steaks that blow.
Yeah, and we've had. Yeah.
This one's my favorite.
Yeah.
Where it says this one.
Yeah. Okay.
Come on, what is this shit?
Yeah. So
this is not user error.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start with a history of our steak usage.
Yeah.
So
let's start.
in our backpacking noob days, we used whatever the tents came with, which is usually some type of aluminum steak.
Or like a plastic steak.
Or plastic steaks, aluminum steaks. Okay. Yeah. And then over the years, as we have gotten different gear, gone lighter, we've started to branch out to like ultralight steaks. And so
because like we were getting lighter gear.
Yeah.
We started backpacking in 2009, he got into ultralight a little bit before me. 2015, we started buying lighter gear, and then it came to get the steaks, and we're like, oh, F these plastic and aluminum things. Like we can get lighter steaks and it won't impact us at all.
Yeah. And so like I've got like
so steak number 1.
Yeah. What is this?
Sorry. All right, we're gonna start with public enemy number 1.
We're gonna start in the category of the titanium shepherd's hook style steaks.
People love these.
Yeah, Restless loves these for some reason. So this is
they must only use steaks in like soft beds of pine needles.
No, this would be awful in pine needles.
Whatever. They are awful in every condition.
So first of all, the biggest problem that we've had with the shepherd's hook titanium style steaks is that they are so smooth that they don't have enough friction when they're in the ground.
They're not long enough either.
They're not long enough.
They're not thick enough. They're not long enough.
Yeah, there's a lot. But they come out of the ground easily. The shepherd's hook steaks don't necessarily bend as much as some of the other bad ones that we've had. That one has been bent, yes. But for the most part, they don't bend as much. They just easily come out of the ground.
Yes, that is the main complaint with them.
Yes, they come out of the ground super easy.
Does someone make a better version of the shepherd's hook?
I don't know.
Yeah, I've only seen those. And furthermore, even worse, we don't even have them, are those nail style steaks.
Incorrect.
Oh, you do have one.
Yeah.
All right.
So before we move on from the so first of all, nothing is worse than in the middle of the night waking up and feeling like the tarp or your tent against your face because a steak pulled out, or it's inclement weather, it's pouring rain, then you got to get out and fix it, or you're sitting there farting around for like 30 minutes trying to find big rocks to like anchor them.
Worst.
So shepherd's hook steaks, they just pull out of the ground way too easily. So they're, in my opinion, not worth the money or the weight savings.
Yeah. All right. What about that one?
So then we moved on to try like a nail style steak.
Like a punch style.
Yeah, and there are certainly like thicker ones out there, and this is a titanium one as well. So then we're like, okay, let's still stick with titanium, but let's go with something a little bit beefier. But again, the problem with the shepherd's hook wasn't that they were bending, it's just that they came out of the ground.
They still bent a little bit.
They bent a tiny bit. But
those don't bend as much.
No, this will not bend very much on you. But the problem is just not enough friction to hold this thing in the ground. The nice thing about this one is it's got a tie on it.
I like having those on steaks.
Yeah, so you can pull it out a little bit easier. And then kind of a pain on this one style too is that when you put your guy line on this, like it can slip off pretty easily.
How does the guy line stay on there?
I actually had to like tie it through here, like do like a hitch through that. And so just these thinner and super thin titanium steaks they just come out of the ground too easily, and that's just in the environment that we're in. It's a pain. So then we're like, okay, let's find something with a little bit more friction and a little bit more beef.
Hold on, I want to take these. Let me take this one. All right. So we're like, oh man, look at these Vargo steaks that they make. Look at them. Look, they won't slip out as much.
Yep.
Oh, they won't bend as much. They've got the, I do like now, sidebar, I love having glow wire tie outs on steaks.
Yep.
Worth the wait. So 2 years ago, we're like, all right, we're gonna bite the bullet because these are not cheap.
Yeah.
They're light, they're titanium. They're clearly gonna be the best steaks.
Yeah, and they've got these slots built into them for like more friction and grab when it's in the ground.
So I will say, friction isn't necessarily a problem with these steaks.
No.
It's
butter.
The tensile strength of these bend so easily.
Yeah.
Like, if you hit a rock at all, it's gonna bend.
Yeah, and like a lot of people will, you get your steak going in the ground, then you step on it to get it down. This will crumple. It
will literally bend like under your foot.
I'm gonna make a bold statement, but I would almost rather have a shepherd's hook over this garbage.
They both suck.
Yeah. These Vargo titanium steaks.
I mean, just look. I mean,
they are just trash.
We have like, and we're not like hardcore.
No,
all right.
We've broken them.
We've snapped them. And I don't know if that's because they're very light and they're very thin. And thin titanium is not the strongest, metal.
No, they do grip okay when they're in the ground, but man, they crumple.
They grip okay.
I don't know, like I have yet to find a type of ground, like even like a super soft ground where these will not crumple. Like,
yeah.
And they're expensive too.
They are expensive. All Vargo stuff is expensive.
So
it is. But we really wanted to like these steaks, and we used them far longer than we should have.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just because
far longer.
Yeah, and it's just so we just got super frustrated with these stupid steaks breaking all the time and bending. And when they get bent all weird, then you're trying to go on like get it into the ground where it's bent in all weird ways. It's just a pain in the butt, and then it continues to crumple. Like these are garbage. So then we're like, okay, let's look at.
We've really had difficulties with steaks.
Well,
thinking about this.
So then we're like, okay, let's try some aluminum steaks. Now, during this entire time, I've had MSR groundhogs.
We're gonna talk about this, dude.
Yeah. So
what is this?
So there are plenty of like MSR groundhog like knockoffs out there. This is one of them. This is an MSR, like I'll just call it like a Y steak. This thing
looks like a banana.
Yeah, it's aluminum. It bent very easily. So I mean, this is much better. This was much better than any of the titanium steaks. It held in the ground perfectly. It's got the pole on top with glow wire, but the aluminum was too thin on this, and so I tried like a cheaper knockoff of the groundhog.
MSR can't be. So we're right back where we started.
So the MSR, and we've talked about this before, the MSR groundhog is, in my opinion, the most reliable steak that we've ever used.
Best all-around steak.
Yeah.
Most reliable steak. Now I have
you can get the minis.
I have the mini groundhogs, which I like, and they have poles on them.
Yeah.
I really like having these poles on the steaks only because they glow at night.
And it's easy to pull out.
And they're easy to pull out, and you can see them at night. So if you can see this at night, you can see where your guy line is, and helps you not trip over it if you don't have glowing guy lines.
Yeah.
The mini groundhog is literally about half the size of that.
Yeah. The mini groundhogs are fantastic.
They're good. Those things are beasts, though.
Yeah. But I think long story short is like, if you read all around the internet and hear what people are talking about, everybody just raves about the groundhogs, and we agree. And there's a reason why they're so good. Like, these things are durable and they hold in the ground. And so if you're looking for some steaks, because
you're cheaper than all the steaks on the table.
Some of them, yeah.
Most of them.
I don't know
about the shepherd's hooks.
Yeah.
They're definitely cheaper than these.
Well, it's certainly cheaper if you have to keep buying all these.
Yeah, that's true.
Because they keep breaking over and over. So So kids, if you're looking for a new steak and you want one steak to rule them all, get the groundhogs.
Get the MSR groundhogs.
The MSR groundhogs. I can only comment on like one brand of knockoff that we used that didn't work out so well.
But the MSR groundhogs, they're not expensive.
No, they're not.
I got the minis. I got 6 of them for like $10 on Amazon.
Yeah. Yep.
So I will say the minis they're half the size of one of these, so they're not as beefy as this, but I've never had a problem with them staying in the ground.
Yeah.
I assume these will stay in the ground better because they're bigger, they're longer, and they're wider.
Yep.
So that's it. Those are our thoughts. It's been a roundhouse on the steaks, man. I mean, we've got literally like 6 or 7 different types of steaks on this table. And there's just nothing more annoying than having to tweak with your steaks when you're comfy in that hammock or in that tent and you hear them come out.
Yeah.
You just hear it come out.
Or you suddenly hear your tarp start flapping around and
you just hear it. You're like, oh, shit. God, that sucks. So, in our experience, go with the MSR groundhogs. I'll vouch for the mini groundhogs. If you don't care about weight, though, get the big ones. They'll stay in better.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and go to a cottage vendor, grab some glow wire, and make some poles for them.
Yeah, make some tie-outs. We love tie-outs. The mini groundhogs come with them on them. So get yourself some groundhogs. Don't screw around with any of this other stuff.
Yep.
That's our recommendation.